With this note, I'm taking you to this section 3 or part 3, and it's just going to be a smaller thing. We are going to have two more things. That's it. In section 3, given your wisdom, I think you are the very first guest whom I asked directly for advices. The first advice is, what could be your advice for the budding business enthusiast, or um, for our younger generation or Gen Z? What could be your advice for them? Also, especially for women, if you like to.
Day before yesterday, I gave a talk on how to start the business on a shoestring budget and how to overcome the fear of starting the business under ATA. That's the American Tamil Entrepreneurs Association Atlanta chapter. So I can tell you like about if I have like 3 or 4 5 minutes, I can. I
Please,
wouldn't say advice. I can just say the example from my life, what may be useful for other people.
please,
Because
go ahead.
I'm not that an expert to give an advice, but I can share some of the pointers. The one thing I tell people is like if you want to start a business, first they have to decide whether they want to go for a product based business or a service based business. And then if it's a service based business, are you going to do it from your place or you are going to go to the customer's place and work? And then if it's a product based, is what kind of product is it? Do you believe in that product? Because you cannot sell anything if you don't believe in it. So if you cannot start a business to make money. You have to start a business to solve a problem in the world. Doesn't it be a big problem, even small problems, but that's you have to think about as a solution, because a lot of people come and tell me, oh, I'm not a salesperson, how am I going to grow the business? The selling comes only if you think that you're getting money from somebody that you don't deserve. But if you think that you're helping somebody to solve their problem, then they're giving money in return, then that's a better mindset. Then you are more open, and also the people trust you because you are interested in them. You are looking at what is in for them, not what is in it for you. So the money should be always the secondary point in starting a business. And also don't start a business to thinking, oh, I'm going to start a business and within 5 years it's going to go 10x, 20x, I'm going to sell it and get out. It can happen in some software industry or somewhere, but it doesn't happen to all the businesses. In fact, in US, there's a statistics, within 2 years, 20%, 20 to 25% of the businesses fail, and only 25% of the businesses survive after 15 years. So that means then the people say, oh, what if I fail? So don't start with the feeling that you're going to fail. You don't worry about the statistics. Statistics is there, yes, but you have to think that you're going to be the successful 25% that's going to stay there after 15 years. Don't think you're going to be the 25% that's going to fail in 2 years. And then also get help from family, get help from your friends, community, wherever you can. And I happen to be very lucky to be in Georgia, because Georgia is number one state in the US to do business. So they help you, the city government, the county government, the state government, the federal government. They all have a lot of free resources to help the entrepreneurs. And if you're in business for 2 years and you have two employees, then they give you advice, free advice on a lot of things that you need to do. They connect you with the export market, things like that. I know it may not be relevant to the people because you have viewers all over the world, but find out if your government or any resources in your community that does the same way, because there's an organization called TAI, the Indus entrepreneurs. They have chapters all over the world. They have mentorship program like that. So there are some resources. With the internet, it's very easy to find nowadays. So find and then interact with them, learn from them. And also, money should not be a issue. You can start small. We started our business with $15,000 investment. And we started in our garage, and then we grew it. When we started, our garage didn't even have a garage door. We just kept all our grinders there, and then I used to, leave it for the UPS, a note saying, okay, these are the three packages, I take it, they'll take it and leave the receipt. And people will ask, oh, you don't even have a garage door, is it okay? I said, the grinder weighs 50 pounds, who is going to take it? It's okay, nobody is going to take it. So like that, you have to trust the system, you have to trust everyone, and use the technology, because the way when we started was, we had to send a letter to India, and it used to take 2 to 3 weeks to get the answer, to reach. Sometimes even takes 3 days, 3 weeks just to reach the mail. When compared to all these things, now it's all instant. You can see face to face and WhatsApp anywhere in the world, free of charge, and you can do a lot of things are easier. And even like getting the business license, everything, it used to be paperwork, now it's all electronic. Every country is making it easy for people to start the business. So, and also do a legitimate business, because some people want to just do it from home as a hobby. If you want to start a business, it has to be a full-fledged, focused business. And also decide your timings. When do you want to do the business, how you want to do it? Because for example, if you start a restaurant, then your weekends are gone, because you have to be there in the restaurant physically, at least till you bring it to a certain point, or you have somebody to take care of it. Then you won't have the social life like that. Then you have to think about, see, for me, from the beginning, my husband and I decided it's not going to be tied only to the local, we are going to be selling to the whole world. And I'm not going to be tied up to the physical location, because we have only a warehouse where people can walk in and buy, but we don't have a fixed store that we have. No, like we have to be there open 7 days a week or 6 days a week. We don't have that. We don't open on weekends. People ask, oh, if it's a weekend will be better. But I said, my employees, they also need the weekend. They need to spend time with their family. So we don't do weekends. And so you fix your time, and if you fix how you want to do it, and then pricing, do it very reasonable price. If you look at our price, some of the prices for our melanges, we haven't changed it in the last 12 years, because we want to people to enter the market. They should be able to start making chocolate. So, and these machines are working for 10 years and 12 years, still they are working. So, when you look at the return of the investment, just like when you buy something, you want it to stay longer, because we are used to, Sumit Mixi and Minomix and Ultra grinders, where people buy it and then they use it for 10, 20 years. So, the same mindset we had for our customers, when they spend money with us, they have to feel good that, their money is worth, they spent it the right way. I don't want them to say, "Oh, why did I buy it? It's sitting there doing nothing." So even when sometimes people come and ask me, "I want to buy your bigger machines," then we ask them, "Have you bought a smaller machine? Have you made chocolate?" They say, "No, no, no. I'm starting a business. I want to start big." I said, "Please start small. Know your business, learn everything about it, give it your chocolates, and make sure it's sellable, and you can make the business out of it. Then come back and buy the bigger one. And I know I can get money from you. I'm not here to make because when I go, I'm not even going to take a penny with me. But if I have a good karma, that will be helping my generations down the line. My kids and their kids, they will all get the part of the karma, because we say, right, paramparai, there's like 7 generations before, 7 generations after that karma goes. So that's what we have to believe in, and be confident. Don't be scared. And a lot of people have the fear of failure, fear of not having the money, or fear of starting. So I tell them, like learning to swim. If you stand in the bank and say, "I want to learn swim, I want to learn swim," you will never swim. You get into the water, then you will find out way to start swimming. Because you want to survive. And also you have to be quick to pivot, because when the recession happened, we're selling only the ultra grinders and Minomix as a trading company. And then when the 2008 recession came, we had to pivot, and that's when we focused more on the chocolate grinders. And then again in 2020 we pivoted, and then we started giving the webinars, the education. So we say we are not in the business of selling machines. We are in the business of creating entrepreneurs. We call them chocopreneurs because they are in the chocolate industry. So we are in the business of creating and empowering chocopreneurs through our equipment, education, and expertise and exposure. So if that's the service mode, because we are helping them, even the farmers, to make chocolate and get more money for their cocoa beans instead of selling in the commodity prices. So we are solving a problem. If you look at that way, then everything happens for you. So that's a small share I can share from my personal experience about business.
Thank you so much, Honor. Like, in one liner, you have already given it. If you want to learn swimming, if you are so fond of swimming, just jump, start swimming. And whatever it is, just start small, learn more, and eventually be there with an intent to you, to the society, not really on a money making part. Thank you so much. And this takes me to the following question: what will be your thoughts or inspirations from your life that you like to share with the current generation on having a healthy relationship, be it with the life partner or person in your close proximity?
See, my inspiration comes more from my grandmother and my mother. Everybody has played a big role, but I always talk about my grandmother a lot. She's my paternal grandmother. She lived to be around 98 years old, and then till last minute, she didn't depend on anyone. She said,
Wow.
"When I go, I know I don't want anybody even to change my diaper." She was like that. She was very independent. Oh, she got married when she was 7 years old. She had my father when she was 15 years old, and she became a widow when she was 30 years old. And she had three sons and one daughter, and she had gone to only third grade. And we were not very rich. We were like, with the current standards, I would even say we were like poor family, nothing. We just had our own house and a small business, cloth merchant. My grandfather was a cloth merchant. My father was studying intermediate. That's the PUC right now. He was studying intermediate in Tiruchi, where his maternal uncle was working, so he could go stay with them and go to college. And then since my grandfather passed away, he had to stop his studies and come back and take care of the business. And then she managed it. She managed the whole family. She got everybody got married, and then she used to help the whole community. She can take care of, she knew about the herbal medicines. She knew about how to take care of your sprains and if you have a constipation or if you have diarrhea, dysentery, those things. Even if the little kids, sometimes the teeth won't come out.
Mm.
She can take the one grain of a paddy,
Right.
and then she can take it out. She can help the tooth to come out, things like that. And even I knew, now they call it Heimlich maneuver. I remember when my brother was 10 months old. He was trying to choke, and then she found out one of the rings was missing from his finger, and it had got stuck in his throat, and she just immediately put him on her lap and then patted him, and he spit out. So she knew everything, first aid and all those things. The whole village will come to her for treatment and things like that. So she showed me. And the other thing was, when she was treating, she will also ask them what's going on in their life. I used to think, why is grandma asking all their personal lives? She's too nosy, she's all those things. But now I understand, because she was giving the medicine not just for the body, but for the mind. Because if your mind is good, in good position, your body heals faster. So she was just asking them, and people shared their intimate things with her, because they knew when they say something to my grandmother, it doesn't go anywhere else. The buck stops there. So she was trying to help them, advise them. So those are the things I learned. So I have to be helpful like her. And I could not be like her, that not depend on everybody, because I got sick a couple of times and the people had to help me for everything. But I think that's from my previous karma, that I'm taking more karma from this birth, because I had to burden some people, in my journey, like when I got sick. But the other thing is, yeah, I think I went off track. Sorry.
No, it's just it is all about that you like to share what lessons you learned or points you inspired from your relationships in your life that you like to convey to our next generation, which is Gen Z.
Okay. Yeah, the relationship. The other thing is, don't expect the relationship to be, 100% harmony. That never happens. Even if your sister or brother who grew up with you, you don't have the same kind of opinion. So when you get married to somebody, don't expect them to have you the same kind of likes and dislikes, because people say, oh, my husband is not thinking the same way, he's not giving me the birthday gift. The day one, my husband told me he doesn't believe in the birthday, he doesn't believe in anniversaries. So I
So
do.
romantic.
So romantic. But that's what it is. He's more practical person, that doesn't mean that he doesn't like love me or like me.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
different people react differently, right?
Yeah,
Like
love
my
language is
father used,
different.
right? When I need help, he's there. So that's his way of helping. He doesn't have to show it in a, like, giving a physical present, right? And my father always used to say, only if you expect something, you have the disappointment. So from the beginning, he showed me that don't expect anything me. So I knew, okay, I should not expect. So that's all. So just understand the other person. And I say this, still I get upset with him sometimes. But that's now human being. I'm also human. I'm not like,
Robot.
extraordinary or anything. I'm
Program.
just a normal human being. So I get mad at him. I get upset with him. But he, takes care of me. So that's the relationship, because I believe, like what we say, when you get married, you are married for 7 births. So there's, think about that way. Then yes, we have to live with it. Yeah. Unless there is a big abuse or there is something that, then you should not be living in that relationship. But if there is, I have seen sometimes nowadays, small, small things, then people immediately separate. They get married within 3 days. They say, oh, I'm divorcing because he doesn't know Rajinikanth, or he doesn't know this, or he doesn't like cricket, or things like that. Small, small things. They say, oh, it's not in tune with my way of thinking. That's not right, because then they will expect the same thing from us. They will expect us to think in their way of thinking. Then there's no end. So as long as the common things, like you do the right things and you help each other, you help the community, the basic things are fine. Then the small things, I think you should just ignore and go away.
Very nicely put. And which also, for we both fall in same page, I would say. I also give the relationship coaching for a couple of my circle, of course, the clients. My point is, as far as you call it as basics, I call it as core. As far as your core values map, you do not bother about the outer cream. Okay, appreciate the difference and have the thumb rule of agree to disagree. And I personally always say, I always love to be get surprised, then be shocked. The one formula for it is don't expect much, as you said. When you don't expect, we don't be shocked, but there are a lot of opportunities to be surprised in a positive way. I also tell that. And thank you so much. We resonate each other in this way. Me, that deserves a high five. And about your learning from other personal circle, which I genuinely adore your grandma, and is something you learned, which I follow. Learning from every single person in your life, which is something you have done. That's something I like to just also reiterate to the viewers. Every single person comes with a lesson, what to do, what not to do. Just observe, you know it. And also the pile of lesson that she transferred you subconsciously is enormous. Be it giving back to society, being kind, being a continuous learner. Your grandma was a continuous learner, and
Yes.
being that individual self and living in a collaborative. That I talk about now. Now I live in Netherlands. I talk about extremely individual society. And India is extremely collective. And people ask me, I neither support this nor that. There is something called collaborative. We have our own space and also we help others, which I call as collaborative way of living. Your grandma has actually demonstrated it, you know, ages ago. I have a royal salute for her. And thank you so much for sharing all these personal spots and episodes of your life. And with this, I go to the last question on in this segment of advices. The last question is, yeah, you are a mix of Western society and Indian society, and you have your business across 100 countries. You have been traveled across globe. What is your take on cultural, fusion? How does cultural fusion help you, you know, to be a person what you are today?
Okay. Mm, I would say one thing is I'm lucky to be here in Atlanta in US. I learned a lot of things from Western culture, and also I still have not forgotten our roots.
Yeah, you keep
Um,
telling karma. you, you never forgot it.
the- I like, see, I'm a people person. I like to be with people, and I like to learn from them. And also, in our Tamil, we have a thing saying, Vasudeva Kudumbakam. Actually, it's a Sanskrit, I think. Yeah, in Tamil, Yadum Ure Yavarum Kele. So
Or in
the whole
English,
world,
like the whole world is just one village, of it's just one
right,
family.
right. Yeah. We are all brothers and sisters. Right? Yadum Ure Yavarum Kele. Everybody is a relative. And then Vasudeva Kudumbakam is, the world is one big family. So that's how I look at people.
Wow.
And when we look at people, I don't look at their color. We just look at how they be, talk or how they be friendly. That's more important. And like each culture has their own uniqueness. For example, in India, they say, "Oh, the West is more, this way or that way." No, each culture has very unique things, but sometimes we forget some of the things. With the modern education, unfortunately, we don't know most of our values or most of our literature or even language in Tamil Nadu because people are studying only in English and then they say, I don't know Tamil, that I feel so sad for them because in this globalized world, you don't know where you're going to be working. If you were to go work in Germany, you have to learn German. If you want to go live in Mexico and work, you need to learn Spanish. So what's wrong in learning your own mother tongue, which is a Tamil? And we have such a rich history, so I'm trying to always compare, the Tamil and how it's influenced here, whenever we go, I'm trying to look at the similarities between our culture and their culture. When I went to Mexico, I saw in Tamil, we call it a Naha Logam, like the snakes, the
World
world,
of snakes.
the underworld, right? So if you look at India and Mexico, they're right, like if you draw a line through that thing, it'll end in Mexico. So they have a lot of beliefs like we have, and they preserved it in spite of the Spaniards' invasion. They preserved their family culture. It's very normal to see in Mexico 3 or 4 generations living together. In India,
Wow.
we lost it, unfortunately. At least in Tamil Nadu, it all became nuclear family. Like, Crazy Mohan used to say, now if husband and wife are together, they say we are an extended family. No, because when we grew up, we were like always cousins and relatives coming and going. They don't have to get an appointment to see those things. But in Western world, the things that I like is, you don't have to worry about too much about what other people will think about you. So that's one thing I never thought, I never cared about it, but it helps other people who are more worried about what other people are going to think. Because I always to say, there are only two kinds of people in this world. One who doesn't know you, so you don't have to worry about what they think about you. And then the other one is people who know you. So you don't have to worry about them because they know you as who you are. They accept you as you are. You don't have to pretend to be someone who you are not. So that's one thing, and also here coming here, it helped me to learn more because I had more exposure, and I had access to more like the computers and other things when I came here. That was in India, it was a luxury. Here it was like a common item. So I could learn computers, I could learn a lot of technologies. I could go to the university. I went to the university. I didn't get a degree, but I took a lot of courses on different subjects that I was interested in. And also, it gave me the independence to be me. Because even if in India, if I was there, but in India also, I was fortunate because I was from Payani, it's a small village. But when I worked in Coimbatore, I stayed by myself in an apartment for 1 year. And then my sister joined, and then both of us lived in an apartment for 6 years. That was never heard of in those days. Going to a bigger city and staying in an apartment by ourselves without any adults. We were, so those things, that exposure was there for me, but a lot of people didn't have that exposure. So for them, this is a good place to learn about other cultures and learn about different things. And also here, you have more motivation uh, to keep your roots and grow, spread your wings. So, because in India, still I see some people are worried about what others are going to say. They have, they have a lot of self-imposed restrictions sometimes. And here we don't have that. I'm not ritualistic because I don't do a lot of, what my mom used to do, a lot of pujas and celebrations. No, I never had time to do it because I was busy with the business. But still, I watch a lot of, YouTube by learning about all this. I got into learning about all this Mahapriyava, Yogiram Surat Kumar, and there's a Mota Samyar, Yog Kanakambati Chitar, all those Siddhars, and Sai Baba, everyone. I'm listening more and more. So I'm if I were in India, there were so many things that I have to do it myself. I may not have time for this. Here, I know it's a little different. I can cook for 2 days, and I don't have to worry about cooking 3 meals a day. And as long as I just make one fresh meal, fresh dish for a meal, we use with leftovers, we don't mind. Even our friends, if they come, they don't mind. We all know how it works. So those things, it gives me more freedom to manage my business life and personal life and social life, and do what I like to do, like have some time for myself to listen to all this, whatever channels I want to listen to. And wherever I go, also I learn from them. I ask them how they do things and how it relates to the India. And then I tell them, hey, this is how we do in India. You're doing the same thing little differently. For example, when we went to Paris last week, I was in Paris for the Salon de Chocolate, and then we shared, we helped one of our customer, and he's not our customer actually. He's his name is Mr. Albertus. He has come up with the 1 hour fermentation for the farmers and the 1 week fermentation for the cocoa beans. So we gave him free space in our booth to promote his idea. And he brought somebody from Ecuador by name Tanya, and she was doing this cocoa ceremony, cacao ceremony they call it. She didn't do the more cacao ceremony. She used to do like a kind of meditation with the cacao, and then she was doing it like how we used to do the buttermilk, churn the buttermilk to take the ghee. The same way she was churning the cocoa liquor, saying the prayers, and she was talking about Pachamama. I asked, what's Pachamama? Pachamama, she said, that's another herb. We said, Gala, we call it Pachayamma, right?
Yeah, which country
Pachay
was
is
that?
green. She is from Ecuador.
Ah, okay, I hear about it. Yeah,
So, that was interesting. Like we call it Pachayamma, they call it Pachamama.
Mama is
And,
mother.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then she was, like churning, because they say the air is the divine, air is going into your liquid. Because we always say, like with the Panchabhudam, we have to take, when you take food, it has to be 70% water and 30% solid. We don't follow that anymore, but that's how it used to be. So those things, when you look at it, it's very unique and very interesting to see. And like when I went to Korea, I learned a lot of languages, like a lot of their words are Tamil words. When I went to Brazil, Portuguese has a lot of Tamil words. So, they always, you look at the similarities instead of the differences. So, see how we are similar to other people so we can live as a harmonious world.
It all comes to your final saying, the entire globe is just one family. Yadumure Yavarum Kelir. But I like to add a note here. I was uh, I used to follow a psychologist who does this intelligence testing, and she was telling me in one of the video, not me, she was telling in one of her video how a person is identified as more intelligent or less intelligent is a person who is considered as more intelligent is one who sees the similarity. The one who sees the differences are less intelligent. For example, there's a table and a chair. They will show what is it? Table and chair. What is it? It is for sitting, it is for writing. If a person tells both are made of wood, there's no difference. It means high level of intelligence, which I have seen in you. Given your exposure, being in two different worlds and across visiting different countries, what you spoke is majorly the commonality. Pachayamma, Pachamama, it could also be the worship of the five elements of earth and the languages. Rather than looking for you have also noticed the major similarities. And the beautiful part which I noticed is it was like a sixer, I would say. I don't see the color of skin, I just see the personality within, or I'm able to just connect and be lovable enough. That tells everything. That breaks the stereotype and everything, getting into very cultural intelligence. And like as you said, I know whether you felt it or not, but I felt it after coming to Netherlands. Initially, of course, I speak reasonably good Dutch. Of course, as you said, I learned it. I'm working on it. Initially, I used when I was just switching houses, me to send a formal email in Dutch, which I was not doing. I got a help from a Dutch friend. He actually have sent a very beautiful mail. I was so into admiration. How do you send such a professional Dutch? Blah blah blah. I was so admiration. But he was like, hey, this is my language. Of course, I will be so professional in way I write it. That doesn't struck me. But over a time, I realized that in India, major, of course, across India, at least I can talk from the angle of Tamil Nadu, we don't have that skill. I was so much admiring him because he was able to write, because I don't have the skill to write in my mother tongue, which you rightly told. Then I feel, bit low, a late realization. But yeah, after seeing the so-called Nia Nana, I ensure I pick up those words. I make a I make a mixture of it. I speak to my friends. Sometimes my Tamil looks so funny because I use the word from the olden English, from Chennai English, whatsoever. But I'm happy with whatever I do. Which again you spoke. It is, and also what you spoke about is people know you. It's all about knowing them as a person. It's a fantastic revelation, I would say. Thank you so much, Andal.
Transforming minds and enriching lives.